All right, so I'm gonna try playing a 10-minute game, which I haven't done in a long time. Probably had a tournament recently, last couple weeks, where I played a 10-minute rapid. But I'm gonna try to take this one a little bit more seriously and hopefully don't blunder in the opening. I have been learning a lot of new ideas, but I'm not even gonna get a chance to use them because it's not with the French. So I'm already playing pretty quickly. See, that's one thing I have to work on. So now, like, we have a open French. What do you call it? Exchange variation, I suppose. Something like that. But it doesn't really look like a French setup. I guess this would have been played first, so it seems like they kind of wasted time moving that pawn twice. So it's kind of putting it. I imagine the computer would say this is equal, right? Because now it's kind of putting it to black to kind of um, decide where this game is going to go. So I need to work on figuring out the ideas. Like, where do I want my pieces? Like, my initial thought is to bring the bishop here. I'm thinking have the knight here, bishop here. I'm thinking this knight would follow after the bishop, probably come here. I don't really want it to block the c pawn right now. I'm trying to wonder if I should be concerned about this because I was talking about in a previous video not being worried about tactics that just don't work. And by trying to stop the tactics that don't work, you're just wasting time. So I'm thinking about playing here, but should I be concerned about this? Like, I don't want to waste time just playing bishop to e7, playing defensively if I don't have to. But I think for the time being, I think this would be a safe bet. So now his bishop can't come here or here for the time being, at least. His queen could still check me. I think I'd be alright with going into an endgame. Then I would be allowed to have two pieces developed. Okay, develops his knight. Controls the center, protects a pawn. This is an idea. I could play here, here. With my bishop, I could still develop here. Now, I think c6 is too passive, which is what I tend to do. We also haven't really decided on the structure yet. So I was wondering if he plays c3, then maybe I'll try to create an imbalance by playing knight c6 potentially. Nah, not sure. And I do want a castle soon. I feel like I shouldn't be afraid of the pin. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and castle. Alright, so I have these undeveloped pieces. His bishop's sitting here. I don't think there's any point in me playing bishop to g4. I do want my bishop to be somewhere else, but where does it really belong, right? So I could take time to play here and here, but I think you only really do that if you really feel like your bishop is worse than theirs, and in this case I don't. Like, I'm not trying to trade off that bishop. So I feel okay with just developing it. Pawn structure still hasn't been decided. All right, so this finally came. Let's see. Question is, do I want to question the bishop first? But if he just goes back here, what am I really accomplishing? Of course, it ties down my knight. Playing knight e7 defends the knight and allows me to eventually move my queen. It also helps guard this square. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Look how much time I've spent just talking. So I don't want to lose just on time. So he played c3. I'm a little nervous about playing here right away. If take, yeah, then this pawn becomes super weak. Just going to make another developing move. I might end up just playing c6 anyway. Alright, so he's attacking me. I just wanted to make that knight look awkward. I guess he could play f3, and then I wonder if that helps me a bit, though, kind of weakening his king side a bit. Now I don't really have much choice. I have to allow this. Which pawn, though? I feel like if I use this pawn, it doesn't really open this file for me, but it also, if I take with this one, I don't get to attack the bishop anymore. I still feel like that was right, but could be wrong. That was right, but could be wrong. See, I really don't feel comfortable with this bishop being here. I wonder if I should have really prevented that from happening, or if it just doesn't matter. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure how I can get initiative here. I know that my queen being here is annoying. So now that the knight's blocking the queen, maybe this is possible now. But that would keep this constantly weak, right? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm down on time. So I kind of want to open things up. Is that a reason? Is that a valid reason? I'm down on time and I want to open things up. Okay, so I could either move my knight here or my bishop. What's it going to be? I think I want my knight to stay here so I can eventually play here one day, potentially. Yeah, and I think it's... Yeah, he knew that was kind of obvious. What if I play here first, here, then I come there? Is that a possible... Well, if I just come here, nothing's stopping the bishop from just moving also. And then what's my point? Right, my pawn's doing a good job guarding these two squares, I think. This is possible one day, maybe. My knight could come here. This pin is still annoying to me. Maybe do something to kind of, force him to weaken himself, or kind of give me another move. I really just wanted to be out of the pin. I feel like this will be weak for a while. Alright, did he just give me a piece? Did I miss something? Let me check this. I don't think I missed anything. But I'm still down 4 minutes, so I got a gift. So I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. I'm just going to try to hold my position. Alright, knight's not really doing too much. I'm going to attack this. Okay. I feel like he's probably going to play here. I don't have a lot of choices. He's probably going to try to trap my bishop. Yeah, maybe I should have come back here first to offer the trade. No, not really. He could just jump back. Probably difficult to protect this. That should be a piece, right? If I just take the knight, if ideally he just takes, I take. And I don't think there's any follow-up. So, is there any checks? No. Fairly confident that's just a piece. Alright, so I'm up. I don't think they have any compensation here. Yeah, I knew that was protected. Is attacking it worth it my time? I think so. One, I'm also trying to save time, literally. Yes. So do I want to double my rooks? Or maybe I could attack this pawn and then bring my other rook down. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then bring this rook down. Okay. So he has some counterplay, potentially. I'm also kind of half hoping he just takes this. Because my other idea, I think he probably sees it that I can attack his rook. But meanwhile, if he attacks mine, all right, so if he does this, I attack his rook, he's going to attack mine. Or if I just kind of sidestep that, I think I just win the exchange there. All right, I got to remember there's no increment, so I'm not getting time back. So I still have to be quick. Also, what's the real time? 7:27. All right, I got about 30 minutes left anyway. I didn't even check their rating. It was close to mine. And I also heard that Lead Chess ratings are inflated. So if you feel that way too, if you play on chess.com or something else in Lead Chess, let me know. I'm curious about that. All right, am I willing to take a trade? All right, well, I'm up on material. Is there anything better? I mean, I could take this pawn. Yeah, is there anything bad with just taking the pawn? If he takes, I just come back. All right. I was just trying to make sure I wasn't being a little too greedy there. Because my opponent will be looking for tactics. I don't see any tactics. My king is pretty in a good position. It's pretty well protected by these pawns. Okay. I think this traps the bishop. He might have to attack my bishop. Yes. Is it worth it to check? Maybe I'll just take another pawn. Maybe I can just move out the way. No, I'll just take it. He'll probably just move his bishop. Okay, well that was good too. Alright, then I'm gonna attack both. I need to move faster now that I have 1 minute and 30 seconds. I need to just make moves. I don't want to lose on time. I also had probably a forking idea, but it's a little late for that. Alright, if he attacks my pawn, I'll just take his pawn. I think I'm willing to simplify here. Yep. I should have seen that one coming. Yeah, I messed up. is probably something better for me, but all right. Here we go. All right, thank you. Yeah. I wasn't looking for accuracy here. I was just looking for the simplest way to finish this. Yeah. All right, so that was a 10-minute game. He wants a rematch, but I don't want one. That was interesting. It looks like he... When did he blunder? Actually, I'm curious what the computer says right now. All right, let's take a look. Request a computer analysis. Just wait a second. So I definitely recommend doing this. For one, I'm trying to not be a hypocrite and play slower games. So this is actually slower than what I'm used to playing online anyway. But I should probably play more like 20-minute plus games too. But if you ever do play slower games, I feel like you'll get more value out of using the request for the computer analysis. It also lets you give a chance to like learn from your mistakes. So in this case, I think white blundered early, so it doesn't have any mistakes for me per se. But usually they would have something for you to try out. So let's look at the opening real quick. Is there a way I can put this away? Bear with me. I'm looking at the graph here too. It looks like I was doing pretty well. I guess I made it even at some point, or I allowed it to be even, and then I was just winning after a blunder. Okay. All right. So here, like I was saying before, I think white kind of gave away their advantage, which I was happy to see. Okay, so I was just making normal developing moves, trying to figure out where my pieces belonged. Nothing fancy. Yeah, it offers for me to kick the bishop here. And it says there's like a negative 0.7 here, so black is doing pretty well. And it offers to kick it and then play c6 or move the rook over, which I honestly don't know too well about why, but if you guys do, please let me know. What would be the point of kicking the bishop if it's just going to maintain the pin, and if you're not going to play g5 after that? I'm not sure. All right, so this move was a little awkward to me. I was like, okay, I'm not going to just let him take my bishop, of course, and the knight is on the rim, which we know is kind of grim, except in specific situations. So I figured this would be a good move, and computer says that's one of the moves. It prefers bishop to e6, but I didn't see a reason to block my rook there, and also it feels like my bishop would be like a big pawn. So maybe the computer has some other idea, but I did not. All right, so I was cool with seeing like a weakening move, in my opinion, kind of putting in front of weaknesses in front of the king. A future diagonal would open up, like we saw in the dark squares, that my bishop eventually got on that diagonal. And then I was okay with trading this. After a weakening move happened, instead of just giving my bishop away, I figured I'd create some weaknesses, or at least encourage them to create some. I'm glad the computer liked my c5 move, and I didn't play that until the knight was blocking the queen. That was important to me because I didn't want this added pressure on d5, because right now my knight's kind of useless because it's pinned down to my queen. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, let me jump in here. And he kind of let me activate my pieces. Computer prefers knight. I preferred bishop because I was gaining a tempo, and I liked my bishop better there anyway. And I wanted to gain another tempo move. So apparently bishop e3 now is best. Not entirely sure why, but anyways. So yeah, I knew that wasn't the best reply. I think, yeah, I would agree with the computer for sure. I mean, I always agree with the computer. But knight to b3 would be best, because playing b4 really weakens their pawn structure and it gives me future targets. So I was happy to see that. And then I was okay with seeing trades and putting some pressure on here in the future was my main idea. So then, yeah, once that happened, he missed that. Bishops do go backwards. They do. I don't know what you've heard, but yes, they do go backwards. And then once that happened, it's important to recognize too that when you're winning, either by a pawn or a piece, try not to let it go to your head, because people will be looking for stalemates, or they'll be looking to swindle you or trick you or some way, which is still very possible in like even in in-game situations. I know because I've fallen into them and felt really frustrated. So now I know that just keep playing your game, consolidate if you need to. Still play good moves. Don't try to play tricky stuff. So here, I mean, I didn't even really get a chance to do all of that because they made another blunder. Simply being that the rook is on the file with the queen, and now the knight is just, it's a simple tactic. Take, lose a queen. Yeah, even the computer says you might as well just take it back, even though the queen's going to be lost next. So now I'm up a lot of material. They offered bringing the bishop here, I guess, to keep it active and prevent it from being shut out. I think that's a good point. So just keep it in the game. I was just thinking attack the bishop because I don't want it doing any funny business. I don't like seeing bishops, pinning other pieces, but sometimes you have to allow it if the tactics don't really do anything to you. All right. So there's something I need to learn more about. Is it's not really a rook in game, but really like figuring out like a very solid plan. I mean, my main plan was just to be, because he wasn't testing me here. I wasn't being like, they weren't fighting for the e-file. So I was very casually just taking over, bringing my rooks on the second file, the second rank. And I wasn't really being tested here. So I figured I'd just grab material with it, take it back. Oh yeah, the computer likes my moves. That's good. I hadn't thought about protecting the bishop. I just thought about grabbing pieces. Wait. So this move, it went from -20 to -12. Let me see. Like, what's the difference here? If here, well, I don't see why he would take, but let's just say they do a nothing move. Well, the obvious, more human move is like, okay, let me protect my bishop. Here. I saw this far, but I figured he'd escape. And then I guess the idea is what? Like, one, you're threatening a fork. The bishop's still hanging if he takes. Alright, I wasn't really prepared to see all that. Maybe in a longer game I would have taken the time to try to see that. But maybe more intuitively I'll know that this is something possible here. Alright. It was a good game, a good rapid game for some practice. I'm trying to play longer games so I can play more blitz like I would play longer games instead of just reacting to stuff. So it was a good first try. I mean, I've done it before, but first try in a while. And with a new kind of way of thinking. I had recently read, what's it called? I have it right here. The Chess Doctor by Bruce Pandolfini. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a very good book. It's like 100 ailments of like your chess game that you need to work on, and then it offers like solutions or like a prescription for what you can do to improve it. It's kind of like a basic, probably beginner intermediate type book, and if you learn the fundamentals very young, and maybe you haven't played in a while, or maybe you never learned the fundamentals like in a more elaborate level, this would be something to read. And there's some basic ideas where it's like you kind of know that, but you just didn't really see it read out. Like sometimes it's more fundamental that you're just missing, and you might understand more advanced concepts, but you're missing some of the basics. So that's why I took some time to read this. It only took a few days. It's a pretty easy read. But that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know some ideas that you might have for improving. I'm still trying to improve myself, of course. I'm trying to get to 2,000 lead chests. And I'm not really sure how different it is from chess.com, but I've enjoyed playing on lead chess, so that's what I'm doing. All right, thanks. Y'all have a good one.